I'm trying to hold back my tears of joy after watching this movie. They did such a good job. Hey, what's up guys? It's me, Anthony, here to give you guys another movie review, and we're here to talk about, you know what it is. The latest Spider-Man film, Spider-Man No Way Home. It happened. I feel like this is the movie that I've been waiting for. Like, I've been training. It's a training montage in a movie. I've been training my whole life for this event to happen. We as Spider-Man fans, young, old, in the middle, I don't know what in the middle is, but every Spider-Man fan of all range of life and walk, we have all been waiting for this movie. I don't know how to express my feelings for this movie because they're all over the place. And even though I have so much like admiration and praise for this film, I will say up until this point, I wasn't really sure if I was sold with Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Because I grew up with Tobey Maguire and to a lesser extent the Andrew Garfield films, and those Spider-Man were kind of like already hardened and they'd gone through some shit. And I feel like Tom Holland hasn't really gone through that kind of hardship that the other Spider-Men have gone through before. But in this film, we get that. We definitely get the hardship and the trauma that I feel like a Spider-Man needs to go through to, for me at least, to really connect with. And like I said, he goes through that in spades in this film. It's probably one of the saddest Spider-Man films that I've watched to date. And it really helps that everybody in this movie brought their A game. Zendaya brought her A game. This is probably the best like acting, emotional acting I've seen from her, as well as Tom Holland. Like I said, I wasn't really sold by him in the past films. I liked him, but I wasn't really sold by him. But this film really sells it with the acting. But the best thing about this film is the fan service. Everything that we get in here is amazing. We get throwbacks from, you know, Doc Octopus is in here. We get Green Goblin. Those aren't spoilers at all because it pretty much shows you in the trailer that they're in here. And the fan service we get from those two are just amazing. If they were just in the movie by themselves, this movie would be great. But there's other characters that come in here and you're like, damn, I don't know if I can handle it. But just seeing Willem Dafoe back as Norman Osborn / Green Goblin was such a breath of fresh air. I feel like we needed a type of character like that in the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. We really didn't get any of that kind of character in the other films. We had Mysterio, who was fine, and then we had the Vulture. I feel like is the closest to Willem Dafoe's level in a sense. But for me, we really haven't had like a really like solid villain in the Tom Holland universe up until now. There is one thing that happens that I can legitimately see people bringing up some gripes with, and it involves a character doing something that you know, if they don't do it at all, then this movie is over and everything is fine. Like everything would be better and certain things wouldn't happen. And yeah, I can see that being annoying, but for me, you know, I'll forgive it because of the third act in this film, because the third act in this film is amazing and I love it and it can do no wrong. But I'm just saying that I can understand people's like criticism of this film because there's a lot of hype coming from this film, and there's a lot of people, including me, saying it's probably the best Spider-Man movie of all time. But is it the best Spider-Man movie of all time? I'm going to do some self-promotion here because I will be doing a ranking of all the Spider-Man movies. You know, you can see that here. So definitely go check that out when it comes up because it's going to be great. But there's just a lot of hype and excitement for this film. So I can see that some people will probably let the hype get to them. And so when they go into the theater, their expectations are way too high. So high that I don't think they'll ever achieve it. No matter what the film does or shows, it will never achieve that type of hype that they have preset into their mind. And match that with the plot point that is kind of icky. The icky plot point that they have in there. I just think they're probably going to set themselves up to think that this movie wasn't as great as everybody else is saying. But after the events of the third act in this film, I'm really interested and excited to see where Tom Holland's Spider-Man goes because I think the possibilities are pretty much endless, and I think we're finally going to get that Spider-Man film that I wanted from Tom Holland, because I feel like the Tom Holland Spider-Mans, I've been jokingly calling him like, who's my next daddy, pretty much, because I feel like just Tom Holland has just been looking for that father figure in his life. I mean, the first one was with Iron Man, the second one was with Mysterio, and then now this one was with Doctor Strange, right? So it's like, he's just looking for a dad, pretty much. But with the events that happened in the third act, and now where Peter Parker is at the end of the film, I just think there's a lot of possibilities, and I think that we're going to get that movie that I want, where it's just Spider-Man doing Spider-Man things by himself, him trying to figure out his problems on his own. But this movie is hard to talk about without spoilers. I mean, so much of the movie is spoilers, so much of the good stuff is the spoiler stuff. And then with that being said, overall, I really enjoyed Spider-Man No Way Home. I think it's one of the best Spider-Man movies, if not one of the best MCU films that we've had to date. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Were you able to avoid any spoilers? I just turned off my Twitter. That helped a lot. Also guys, don't forget to check out my Twitter so you can stay up to date with my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And remember guys, keep watching movies.